Greetings, friends, and welcome to my video. My name is Brett Gurney from brettgurney.com, and I'm back today to do another blog post supporting video. I favor this method of doing my trainings because it gives me a point of reference. I do write the posts that I'm referencing and reading from. Um, and I gather that information from other trainers. I watch a lot of training videos, webinars, and read other people's articles and blog posts, and then I get out my notepads and I gather up all my information, and then I process it, which is a little bit of what I'm going to talk about today. That whole learning cycle. Okay, but then I put it in my own words and I make my own blog posts and from what I've learned from the things that I've watched and read, and then I do supporting videos on those, and this helps me to retain the information. It helps me hold it for longer. It helps me process it, and again, it gives me a point of reference so that I don't get lost for words, because I'm not really good in that area. And if I don't do it this way, I'll just be lost and all over the place and babbling on like an idiot. And not that I don't do that anyway, but this helps me along. So let me just get over here to this blog post. By the way, this is a post that I wrote in the very beginning of January 2013. So we're kind of starting to get caught up here a little bit. I have a lot more to do. As far as blog posts, I have quite a few piled up. I'm doing a lot of blogging now. So let me just, I've got to blow this darn thing up about 4 times so that I can read it, so that I can see it, because my eyes are getting really bad. Okay, blog post on brettgurney.com. Learning the attraction mindset and what it means to your business. That's the title, the header, attraction mindset. How does it affect your business? And then it goes on to talk about training and how critical it is to your network marketing success. It says here, training that will bring about the attraction mindset that is necessary in today's competitive online world. Things are not what they used to be. There was a time when a good product, a good opportunity, or a good compensation plan was enough to win over the opportunists lurking about on the internet. This is something that I talk about often because it's true, and I've been online, marketing for a while now, and I've kind of gone through that stage. And there was a time when just having a good opportunity, a good company, a good product, or a good pre-launch. In fact, I survived jumping from pre-launch to pre-launch for a while before I learned that that wasn't the best way. But what I'm saying is that there was a time when that was good enough, because there wasn't as much going on. There wasn't other companies pre-launching every 15 minutes like there is now. So nowadays it's much more difficult to do that, because there's a lot of people online, but everybody has something, okay, that they're doing or looking at, and they're exposed to so much as far as good companies, good products, good opportunities, perfect timing, pre-launches. And I'm not knocking any of those. There's some good things going on. There's some bad things going on, but there's some good things going on. But the fact is that there's so much of it now that everybody has a lot to choose from, and it's just not. It's not like it used to be, where that was all that you needed. Now, and I believe that a person, in order to for them to attract, and be able to build a good team, they're going to have to throw something else into that pot and give people a good reason why they should join them, or like myself or whoever it is, that's out there trying to recruit. We have to, in addition to our good company, our good product, and our good, and our good timing, or whatever the fact is, we also have to provide something more than that. We have to separate ourselves from everyone else. And that's kind of what this is all about, and what attraction marketing is all about. And so let me just continue here. And it says you must be offering something that will attract others to you to give them a reason for choosing you over all the others. And it's true. And that's, there's a lot of training to help people kind of get that idea, and then to be able to learn the stuff that it takes to be able to share with others, so that we are providing value that makes people want to work with us, instead of the other 20 people that have offered them something, earlier that day. Making the transformation and obtaining that attraction mindset, it will require a shift in your thinking, and it will. And that's why I mentioned there's a lot of training for that. Get with somebody who's into it, pick their brain, read their material. And it's a process, and it says here, and in the process, you will go through some changes, and you will. You will change the way that you think and that you do things online. When you start getting into some attraction marketing training, some personal development training, some mindset training, it will change you for the better as far as business online goes. And it says, I'm experiencing this now. My thinking is changing, and it is. Understanding the learning process is part of this. The realization of the need to work downstream naturally with an easy flow. In other words, so that we're not fighting everything. It becomes a much simpler process once we get this down pat. Okay, and so now it goes into learning the learning process. Okay, there's a cycle, and it begins with preparation. Okay, it goes from preparation to inputting to processing to application, and then we check and adjust. Okay, and preparation, which is the very beginning, that is simply just opening our mind to take in the information. Having an open mind. Well, here, preparation, priming your mind, becoming open and resistant free to bringing in new data, ideas, and changes. Okay, and then the second step is the inputting, which is simply, bringing in the information, accepting it, listening, reading, watching, whatever it is, and it's something that everybody does. Okay, but the third step in the learning cycle, which is what they call processing, and this is kind of the hard part, and it's where the real learning takes place. Okay, it's where we have to take that information that we've brought in, and we have to do something with it. Instead of it going one ear and out the other, we have to process it, or we'll never remember it. We won't keep it. We won't retain it, and it won't do us any good if we can't process it, retain it, and remember it. And it says that consistent and regular training, retaining tasks and exercises is something that can help us. And what I'm doing right now is one of those exercises, and it's something that I've trained myself to do. Well, I've received training on it, and I've put it into the application. For example, when I read a book that somebody's written, or watch one of their videos, or attend one of their webinars or whatever, that's, I'm inputting. Okay, and that information is coming in. But in order for me to process it, I do several things. First of all, a lot of times if it's recorded, I'll go back and watch it again. Okay, but the second time I watch it, I'll have a notepad and a paper, and I'll start writing stuff down. Okay, the key points. Okay, knowing that I'm going to blog about it and video it later. Okay, and this is what helps me remember, what helps me hold it, retain it. Okay, and so that is an exercise that I do. I go through it again. Sometimes I'll go through it a third time, and I scratch it down on a piece of paper, and then I will transfer that information from a piece of paper, because I can write fast that way and just go. Then I will type it onto a document, okay, and rearrange it and make format it and structure it so that there's proper grammar and sentences and paragraphs and all that stuff. And so I'm processing it even more now. Okay, and then I will put it into a blog post, and then I will always end up tweaking it a little bit more and adding a couple images. And all this time I'm doing this, I'm going over and over and over and over this material, and it's sticking. Okay, and then after I publish my blog post, I'll go back a little sometime later, and I will do what I'm doing now, which is what I call a blog post supporting video. So I'm going through it again. Okay, and by this time, I'm really starting to hold that. That is the processing step of the learning cycle. And then finally, there's application, putting into motion, performing tasks, taking action, and applying what you've learned. Well, that is part of what I just talked about. The processing and the application, the way that I'm doing it is kind of a two-in-one. Okay, I'm processing while I'm applying. And then as we continue, and then we start sharing it with other people in other ways when we're talking to them on a conversation on the phone and an email and a chat or whatever. We start doing trainings with other people, so we are applying what we've processed and what we've learned. And then the last step, which can be the most critical when it comes to turning all of this into monetizing, and earning an income from, is called check and adjust. And that is simply where we apply, test, change, reapply, test again, change again, reapply, test, and so we just keep going through these steps, and tweaking it, polishing it, perfecting it, until we've got it. And that's something that all advertisers will do. They track their advertising. They try something. If it's not converting, okay, if it's not pulling, then they tweak it, they readjust it, and they test it again, and they keep changing it until they hit a winner. Okay, so it goes on to say here that learning is one thing, leveraging that learning into acting and progressing is quite another. Okay, becoming habitual in your daily actions, and this is something that I did in my last video, was daily action. Okay, critical to be able to be persistent and consistent in your actions. Okay, that's what will get you to success. It talks about external motivation and internal motivation. I don't want to go a lot into that, but it is something that I picked up in my trainings. But the last one is sustainable motivation, and that is simply where, and it says this is the breakthrough. Okay, and it comes from not quitting, seeing it through the ups and downs, getting to the other side, consistent action over time. Okay, sustainable motivation is what happens when somebody sticks with this thing and they keep going, they get through the rough spots and they keep going, and when they get down, they keep going, and when they get back up, they keep going, and they just keep doing what needs to be done. They don't quit, and then sooner or later that sustainable motivation will kick in, and that's kind of when a person has made it. Okay, and I've seen this happen to some people in this industry, and it's pretty exciting when it does. Okay, so now this continues on about an exercise that my coach and mentor has one of their students do. I'm not going to go into that particular one, but here's something that I do on a regular, consistent, daily basis. And that's what we call the EOD project, which is end of day. And there's also a start of day. Okay, I don't do the start of day so much because I have a pretty set routine that I get started my day with. And I pretty much know what I need to do throughout that day. But at the end of every day, I journal, I log, and I write down what I did that day. It's my end of day journal, and it's something that us, as part of our training community, which is Daily Marketing Coach, we go into our community group, and we all post our end of days, and it's a way of sharing with others what we're doing, what we're accomplishing, if we're working, if we're doing it, or if we're slacking off. Maybe we're just slacking off, but it is something that will help a person remain accountable to themselves and stay motivated. Okay, and as I go through the day, whenever I perform tasks that apply to business, then I jot those down so that I don't forget, and when at the end of the day I can provide my end of day report. And sometimes it's just a few things, and sometimes it's a lot of things. But the thing is that that does a couple of things. It allows me to see if I was productive that day, and it allows me to see how much of the things that I'm doing are actually income earning activities. Okay, because if I'm not doing income earning activities, I'm messing up. Okay, there's a lot of maintenance type of activities that need to be done. Okay, and I won't go into what those all are, but and a lot of them is something that has to be done. You know, you got to keep yourself organized and maintain your records, and you know, organize your emails, and you know, do those kinds of things. But if we're not also out there actively engaging, sharing, recruiting, prospecting, however you want to say, advertising, um, putting our message out there. If we're not doing that, those are income earning activities. And if we're not doing those, then we're going to find ourselves just not making anything happen. So, okay, went on long enough here. That is my blog support video training for the day about learning the attraction mindset, what it means to your business, and the learning cycle, which again is preparation, which is opening your mind to receive, inputting, bringing it in, processing, that's the big one. That's where we do tasks that allow that information to stick. So we remember it so that the training that we took was worthwhile, and then we apply ourselves, and then we check and adjust. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks, and we will see you again on the next video soon. Okay, bye. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.